Have you ever heard that first impressions are hard to change? Well, I'm going to tell you what. First impressions are very, very easy to change, all right? I don't even know where that idea came from that they're hard to change. It's kind of stupid, all right? Here's the thing. UCLA did a study, and they showed that we as people form a snap judgment about others in 1/10 of a second. So that means that you don't have 7 seconds to make a first impression. You don't have 10 seconds. You don't have 3 seconds. You have 1/10 of a second to make your impression, all right? Because we already form an intuitive feeling about someone else the instant we see them, all right? And that's what they proved, or that's what their study showed. Now here's the thing. That snap judgment doesn't really hold that much weight, all right? Because there wasn't much energy that went into forming that impression. So that first impression is already formed the instant that they see you. And it could be the way they see you interacting with someone else. It could be how energetic you are. It could be if you're excited, or if the first thing out of your mouth is negative, or how your body language is. Are you looking down with your chin down? Or are you standing up tall and you're smiling, all right? Those are the things, the physical things, the things that they could see. That's what they form their impression on, all right? Now, the more they interact with you, the more it's really going to mold into who you actually are. So don't worry about the way you look so much. Don't worry about the way you're coming across to the other person. Worry about who you are in here, all right? I used to form bad impressions all the time on other people. Actually, girls I dated in the past had the wrong first, hold up, 20% left. Girls I dated in the past had the wrong first impression of me to begin with, and it was because they would see me in like a meeting for a class or some club or something, and they'd be like, honestly, I thought you were dumb, Patrick. I'd be like, what? And they're like, well, you were asking all these questions, so I figured, well, if you're asking that many questions, you might be dumb. And the truth is, geniuses ask a lot of questions. Why? Because when you want to know something, you realize that the easiest way to find out is fucking ask, all right? So I used to ask a lot of questions. I still do, mainly because I want to either confirm what I already know or find out something by going straight to the source. So I fucking ask questions, all right? Sorry. And then the more they interacted with me, the more they realized how fucking awesome I am. The more they realize how much of a genius I really am. The more they realize how much I actually like educate myself. So, you know, that first impression that they got of me really didn't mean that much, right? Because it changed over time. Now here's the thing. First impressions are hard to change in one instance. So if I meet somebody and that's the only time I'll ever see them, once they form that impression, I'm not going to be able to change that in one conversation, all right? Because the conviction is strong enough to hold weight for the next few minutes or maybe even an hour. But the more they interact with me, the more they see me over time. So maybe over a couple of hours or one or two conversations with them on separate occasions. Well, then it's going to start to mold into who I actually am. So if you struggle with your first impressions, start with the roots. Start with who you are. Start with how you see yourself. Because I could make an impression that I'm not very smart to other people, but if I know I'm not dumb, or if I come across as a dick the first time I meet somebody, if I know I'm not a dick, if I always smile when I'm around people, if I'm generally in a positive mood, then that's me. I know that about myself. That's my self-image, all right? And that's going to come across the more I interact with people, all right? So first impressions are easy to change over time, all right? Because you know that you don't define yourself by someone else's first impression. Let's just say that. So if you want to learn more about this, I'm looking at my bookshelf right now. I recommend reading this book right here, Psycho-Cybernetics. He talks so much about your self-image, how to mold it to something that's actually beneficial to you. And this is also one of the first people who stated that everybody is naturally attractive, right? Everybody at the roots, they're naturally attractive. Kind of like a baby. You can't hate a baby because the baby is just a baby. It doesn't come across as fake. It doesn't make bad first impressions. It could be crying. It could be smiling. It could do anything, but you still think that baby's fucking cute. All right? And so he kind of goes over like why everybody should have a good self-image and why they're all naturally attractive. So if you want to learn more about making great first impressions, start with the roots, read that book, and I'm going to see you later.